Good morning. Okay, are you guys ready to get started? There they are. Hello. Okay, let's go. Welcome back, Sue. We got Sue and Val. Woohoo, it's a party. Okay, let's take.
Can you say that again?
Let's take a nice big deep breath. Reach the arms really long and
breath.
Try to get. Oh, just a sec. Sorry. Okay, try to get nice and tall. Lifting out of your hips. Hang on. Okay, I think I got it figured out. And then exhale. Big deep breath. Now let's take it all the way down nice and slow. Push your weight backwards. And try to put it all into the back of the legs and your heels. So now you're going to drift forward and you're going to drift backwards. And just kind of oscillate between the two. Then find a nice comfy place somewhere in the middle. We're going to cross the arms and relax the upper body. Just try to unweight it as best you can. Let your head hang and dangle where it wants to be. Try to focus on your breath today. Take as much air in each move we do. Let's take the hands above the knees. You're going to inhale, come all the way back up to standing, and then sweep the arms all the way up. And take it all the way back down again, nice and slow, moving your weight backwards. Let the head go. Cross the arms. This time we're going to stay here for 3 big breaths. And take those hands above the knees again, come all the way back up. Big deep breath. Sweep the arms up, take your gaze, look up. And now pull the elbows backwards and squeeze them together, crowd out your chest. Fold halfway down, keep the elbows up. And come back up. Again, hips are trying to push back. And you're trying to weight as much into the back of the body as you can. So you feel a nice big tug through your hamstrings. Come back up. We're going to do it one more time. Fold halfway. This time you're going to release the hands. Sweep them out to the side like an airplane. Try to lift them as high as you can and then relax them back down. And sweep up. And relax. And again, last one. Up and hold. Stay here for 3 breaths. Try to touch the sides of your room. So you're sweeping those arms really long and strong out to the side. Nice. Now come all the way back up to standing. Relax your arms. Your palms are going to face forward here. Sweep them back. Really proud out the chest. Squeeze your glutes. Lift up through your thighs. Feel nice and centered between the heel and pad of the foot. And then bring the arms forward. Keep the palms as best you can facing backwards. And then let's do it again. Release the arms back down. Take them as far back as you can. While you do this, you're trying to broaden out through your shoulders. Sweep them back up. And back down. And out to the side. Palms are now going to face the earth. Try to touch both sides of your room. Push them really long. Flip the palms. Move the hands backwards. Feels a little awkward, but that's okay. We're not here for long. Now take the arms up. And then do a nice swan dive all the way down. Let your head go. Cross the arms, unweight the upper body. See if you feel like you're getting a little closer to your legs this second time through. Now that we've released the hamstrings, you should just be able to really dangle that upper body. Keep that weight centered. Okay, we're going to take the hands to the floor. We're going to walk out, meet in a plank. Oh, our favorite place to be. Now from here, down dog, push the heels to the floor and straighten the legs and just hold it for a few breaths. And then come forward. And then push back. Keep pushing your heels to the floor. And forward. And take it back for the last time. We're going to hold it here for a few breaths. You can have your feet like 4 to 6 inches apart. And then take that left leg, sweep it up. When you lift that leg, try to keep both arms evenly weighted. And then put that foot down and switch. Lift the leg nice and high, but we're keeping the hips even. And then let's switch again. And again, other side. Now you're going to take that left leg, lift it up, and this time you're opening the hip up. So you're getting a little bit more work into that gluten hip, and do the same on the other side. Make sure you haven't pulled your head through those arms, so you should be able to still see them. And just keep alternating one more time on each side. Now we're going to walk our feet all the way forward, up to the hands. Meet in a forward fold at the front of your mat. Let the upper body unweight itself. Now inhale and extend to a flat back. And exhale, fold forward. And inhale, extend to a flat back. Exhale, fold down. And one more time. Inhale, extend. Reverse swan dive, come all the way back up. Sweep the arms up. Bring your hands to heart, pick up your left knee and just hold it. Nice and calm on the right foot. And do the same on the opposite side. Keep the foot flexed. Now switch again, and this time we're going to reach the arms up. Just creating a little bit more work to stabilize the upper body. And switch. Try to still stay broad when your arms are up like this and they're connected at the top. You're still actively trying to pull the shoulders apart, right? Okay, put that foot down, take the arms down, but make them really long. Palms face the floor. You're going to take your gaze, look left. Come back center and look right. Try to pull the hands backwards. Come back center, drop your chin. Feel a nice stretch down the upper back. Take your gaze, look up. Flip the palms to face up and move the hands back a little more. Now the left one's going to come down. You're going to take a side body stretch, move the hip out, reach for the ceiling. And then do the same on the other side. And come back. Take a nice big deep breath. And exhale, fold all the way down. Palms to the floor, step back plank. Let's do a little hover and go right to your up dog. Keep your glutes nice and active. Now, if you're on the tops of your feet, see if you can lift your knees up off the floor and just hold here for a few breaths. The belly is pulling up and into the spine, right? We do that all the time. We know that now. Okay, knees down, tuck your toes under. Let's bring the hips up and back over the heels. Let's get a nice stretch for our lats. So I want you to take the hands to the corners of your mat and start to slowly have your armpits get a little closer to the floor. Your forehead's off the floor, so you're actually working those neck muscles. Keep the neck long. Let's just stay here for a few breaths. Okay, so to add on to this, we're going to open the right palm to face the ceiling and lift it off the floor, but you're keeping the arm really reaching. So it's perfectly straight. Closer to the floor, relax. Same thing, opposite side. Open, lift, and then reach. And just keep oscillating between the two. Maybe 5 or 6 times. Keep the belly in. That stabilizes your spine. It's also a much better look. Okay, 2 more, why not? Because this is so good for us. Just think of how you find yourself at certain points during the day, whether you're on a computer or a phone, behind a wheel of a car. We tend to round forward. So let's open up these shoulders. Okay, come on to all fours. More work for your upper back. You're going to take your right hand to the ear and lift that elbow up from the shoulder. And then do the same on the other side. You're keeping your hips nice and square. You're just getting in a little spinal rotation here. Keep going side to side. And try to have the activation begin with the shoulder. The elbow is just going along for the ride. We'll do a few more. Okay, now take that left arm and pretend like you're doing a row. So make a fist and lift the elbow up. Put it back down, do the same with the right. And just keep alternating. Your tummy is in and your glutes are working. Your toes are tucked under, so you should feel nice and stable. 1 more on each side. Now we're going to do some cat-cow. So you're going to round your back, look at your knees, let your head go, and then flip it around the other way. Sink into those shoulders, take the gaze forward. Belly is still pulling up and in. Round. Tuck that pelvis forward so you feel the upper glutes stretch. Push the hands away from the earth. Get as much arch into the back as you can. So you're creating nice space between the shoulder blades. Now reverse it again. Belly in. Glutes active. And round for the last time. Make this the best one. Drift the hips back just a little bit. Feel the difference in the stretch. Okay, now from here, if you have a towel for your forehead, grab it. We're going to come onto the tops of our feet. We're going to splay open the knees, get them nice and wide, and then have a seat on your heels. Relax the forehead down to the floor. Just a modified child's pose. 3 big more breaths. Okay, come on back up onto your hands. You're going to walk your hands to the corners of your mat. Your knees haven't changed, but you're going to pull the hips forward, kind of like frog legs. Now, you can connect the heels and then pull the hips backwards. So you're on your toes, and you're just going to oscillate between the hips coming forward and then backwards. And if this is aggravating your knees, get a pillow. I'm just going to do one more. Okay, now bring your knees together and bring your wrists under your shoulders. Lift off the knees and come into a high plank. Now you're going to step your feet into bear, hold it here, and come into a small down dog. So the heels are down. I'm just going to relax here for a few breaths. Let's get some good blood flow to our face. Close your eyes. This is a get lost moment. Just let your mind drift. Okay, come back to plank. So you're going to step your feet back. You got your shoulders over your wrists. You're going to hold this high plank for 3 breaths. And then we're going to bring our left foot up between our hands. So let's do that now. Left foot comes forward, up between the hands. See if you can get onto your fingertips. Just hold this low lunge. Your hips are fairly low. Now we're going to take this left hand to the inside of the front foot. You're going to straighten the front leg, elevate really high on the toes on the back foot. Bend the front leg and drop that back heel towards the floor. And then oscillate between the two. So up on the toes, straight leg in the front, and then reverse it. Push that heel, that heel should be really pushing towards the floor. So you get a nice stretch in the back of the lower leg. And just keep going. Okay, from here we're going to transition to lizard. So take the palms of your hands to the floor. And let's put that right knee down, slide it back. So you're getting really into the inner thigh and groin area. And we're just going to hold this for a few breaths. We're also getting a nice stretch through this right hip flexor. You're probably feeling a little bit of a pull there. Now take the left knee, push it into your left arm, just to create a muscle activation through the inner thigh. And then release it. And push it in. And release it. And one more time, push it in. And release it. Your toes are tucked under on your back foot. If you can lower to the forearms, let's take it down. If not, it's not about trying to push yourself to get there. Your body knows if it wants to do it or not, and it's not about forcing. Okay, come back up onto the hands. Take that left hand to the outside, step back, meet me in plank. Let's do that little hover and go right to up dog. On the tops of your feet, lift your knees off the floor, hold 3 breaths. Toes tucked back under, come back to plank. Take it to a down dog. Walk your feet closer so it's a small down dog with your heels on the floor. Hold and breathe. When you do a small dog, it gives you the ability to work on ankle flexibility. It also weights a little more into the arms. Okay, step your feet back, meet me back in your plank. Now we're going to step the right foot up between our hands. Fingertips only, try to stay lifted out of that right hip. So you're not sinking, you're actually pushing away from the floor. Now you're going to get high on the toes on the back foot and straighten your front leg. How awesome does that feel? And then bend it and drive that back heel towards the floor. And repeat it again. Only because we love how it feels. Just keep going between the 2 points. Your spine is nice and long, right? We're not rounding. Okay, come back with that leg bent in the front. Take your right hand to the instep of that leg. Slide your back foot a little further back if you can, so you're in a really low lunge. Push the knee, right knee into the right arm. And then release it. And let's just keep doing it again. And release. One more time. Now let's take that left knee down to the floor. Let the hips sort of relax forward so you're getting a nice left hip flexor stretch. And then if you can comfortably without a force, take it down to the forearms. Okay, back up to the hands, meet me back in your high plank. Let's do a nice little hover and meet me in up dog. Tuck your toes under, right back to a good old down dog. We're here for 5 big breaths. Close your eyes and relax. Don't think about your future day. Think about how good this feels right now. Listen to your breathing. Come back to plank. Now this time we're going to do a slow hover and we're going to end up with our whole body down on the floor. Nice and slow, take it down. Keep your hands right by your chest. You're going to fire up your glutes. Press your belly button to the spine. Lift the chest off the floor. You're activating the muscles that run along the spine. Now while you're pulling the belly in and activating your glutes, you are remembering to breathe as much as you can. The whole time you're breathing, you're pushing that belly button up. Now, if you can, take the hands off the floor, just hover them, lift your elbows up towards the ceiling. Keep the belly in and squeeze your elbows together. Put the hands to the floor, find a towel, relax your head, untuck your feet, just sort of chill out. Okay, that was a nice little reprieve. Tuck those toes back under, lift your chest back up, lift your hands off the floor, fire up that belly, just hold, squeeze, lift your elbows higher. Squeeze them into each other. Keep breathing. Put the hands down. Turn the head, let it go, relax. One more time, lift up, face looks at the floor so your neck stays long, hands come up, elbows high. Tummy in. Now to amp this up a little bit, we're going to add movement. Sweep that left arm forward and back. It's staying off the floor. Push it forward and back. Right out in front. Sweep it forward and back. Forward and back. And one more time on each side. And hands to the floor, push yourself back up. Right to a child's pose with your knees open. Now this time we're not going to let the forearms touch the floor. So you're still getting the benefit of that nice lat stretch. Just relax here and breathe. Face is off the floor, but you're just looking straight down at the floor. Okay, come back up onto all fours. You're back to some nice cat-cows here to stretch out that low back after that work we just did. So round, look at your knees, and then flip it the other way. And just keep oscillating between cat and cow. Okay, take those heels out to the side, have a seat. We're all going to meet in staff pose. We're going to start a little core segment here. So, arms out in front. Get as tall as you can. And now C-curve your spine, round down really slowly. As slowly as you can. Go. And once you're down, both knees are going to come into the chest. So hug them in nice and close, and then open them nice and wide. Push them forward. And just oscillate between bringing them in towards the sides of your torso and pushing them forward. So the knees are staying open as wide as you can have them. And you've got your hands on your kneecaps, and you're just pushing the knees in, keeping the lower back on the floor and moving them forward. Should feel really good. Okay, now, comfortably somewhere in the middle, close the knees and open them. So when you open them, push them out gently. Create an activation by isometrically pushing them into the hands, but you're not going to let the legs get closer to each other. It's just an activation. And then release it. Bring both knees into the chest. Take them all the way up to the ceiling. Arms are on the floor, nice and relaxed. You're going to bend the legs and flex the feet. So the ankles are at the height of the knee. Now I want you to give me a nice little pelvic tilt so you feel your core start to work. Hold that activation by pressing the belly down. Now we're going to take the left heel, move it forward, and slowly, ever so slowly, lower that heel towards the floor, keeping the leg bent. And then slowly bring it back up to its starting point and do the same on the opposite side. Slowly lower and lift. And just keep oscillating between the two legs. You're going really slow and you're pushing your back into the floor. So you should feel a little shaking going on around the belly. Okay, if we're ready to amp this up, both heels go down at the same time. Lower back feels exactly like it did before. And if you need to limit the range of motion a little bit, maybe you don't let the heels get quite to the floor, but fight hard to press the belly down. I'm going to do a few more. Nice. Now bring those knees in. Little gentle massage by circling the knees for your lower back. Should feel really good. Change your direction. Okay, rock and roll up to a seated position. You're going to sit up nice and tall. We're going to take the legs, open them out to the side, and flex the feet. Turn your feet to the back of the room if you can. So tilt the toes, pointing towards the back. Changes up the angle of the inner thigh stretch. Walk it out. Let the forearms get down on the floor. And just sort of hold at this one starting point. We know we could probably go further, but we're going to ease into it. So let's start breathing, relaxing that upper spine. Let your head sort of go where it wants to be. Now let's take the arms or hands, walk them further out so you get a little more intense stretch through the inner thighs. Keep trying to push those toes towards the back of the room. Try to go a little further. And walk it back up so your torso is nice and long. Now from here, we're going to take our shoulders and rotate them so you're facing this left leg. Walk it down the leg with your hands. If you can hold on to the outside of that left foot, grab it, take your face, look at your knee. Now that right foot might want to roll forward, try to keep it back. So you're going to feel a very distinctive stretch through the quad muscles of the right leg. We're also getting into that QL, waistband of the right side of the body. How good does that feel? Now, if you can take that left forearm and lower it to the floor for a little more range, try it. You still have that right hand on the outside of the right foot. I'm feeling a nice big stretch right around my waistband on the right side. It goes right up to your lat, probably. So good. Okay, let's bring it back up. We're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So turn your shoulders towards the right leg. You've still got both your toes pointing backwards. Walk it down slowly. And if you can take that left hand, holding on to the outside of the right foot, awesome. Otherwise, it's on your shin. It changes the dynamic of the stretch. Gets a little more into the upper back. So your head is just looking over that right knee. If you can now, the right forearm gets to the floor. Really try to use your breathing to expand and get a little more range into this stretch. Keep those toes pushing backwards. Okay, walk it back up. We're going to take the legs, bring them forward. You're going to pull that right foot up inside the left leg. Doesn't have to be close. It can be wherever it feels good to be. So you got both feet flexed. We're just going to walk the upper body forward. If you can lower the forearms, relax the head, just hold this, breathe like 4 or 5 times. And let's reverse it. So extend the right leg out, pull the left one in, walk it down. Kind of do it in stages. Maybe you keep the forearms up to start. You can lower them, go for it. Let's just stay here for 4 or 5 more breaths. Breathe as deeply as you can. Okay, walk it back up. We're going to go right into 90-90. So 90 degree with your front leg, the left one. 90-degree with the back leg. So make sure your ankle is in line with the knee and the knee is in line with the hip. Ankle and knee in the front. Walk it forward. And then just walk it back. So you're kind of feeling that hip kind of dig into the floor a little bit. You're actually trying to get a nice little release there. So that's why we're moving from up to down. Okay, on this last one, we're going to hold it down, relax the head. So your torso is just over your left inner thigh. Okay, bring it back up and just change your legs. So the right one is now going to be forward and your left one in the back. Hands out in front, lower and lift. Lower. Just keep going. Should feel like a little massage for that hip and glute. So when you come back up, make sure you're coming up as high as you can so you really feel that glute push into the floor. Okay, now hold it up. And sweep the left leg forward. Both legs are out in front, so you're in staff pose. We're going to challenge the core a little bit here. Lift the arms up. Keep your spine long and lean back. So you're going to take it to a point, and then your body's going to say, okay, I can't lean back anymore, or this isn't going to end well. So just hold that point and try to find a big activation of that tummy pulling in. Just hold it just for a few more breaths. We've got lots going on in the legs as well. Okay, pull the arms forward. Now you're going to C-curve the spine. It's going to feel really good. So you're rounding down nice and slow. We're going to take the hands all the way back behind us. Point your toes now. Pull that body apart and just breathe. Now make sure you're taking that belly and you're pressing it down. You're nice and flat on those shoulder blades. Your neck is long. The arms are long. Okay, let's pull the arms up and pull the legs in. We're going to meet in happy baby. So take hold of the outsides of the feet. Bring them so they're pointing up to the ceiling. Kind of use your hands to help the knees get closer to the floor. You can add a gentle rock if you like. You keep that low back on the floor. Okay, bring the legs all the way down along the floor with your arms by your side. We're going to do the Sean exercise. So we're going to keep a little tiny bend in the legs. Draw the knees and toes into each other. Push your heels into the floor. Pull the tummy down. While you're pulling the heels down, isometrically pull them towards your butt. And then elevate off your butt cheeks. Squeeze your knees with all your might. Get onto the fingertips of the hands with your arms off the floor. And then release it all. You're like, I just got there and you released it? Don't worry, we're doing it again. Pull those toes in, knees in. Heels push down to the floor. Give me a big force. Knees towards your butt. Get off your butt. Fingertips only. Squeeze your knees. And then relax it. And then one last time, squeeze those knees, heels pushing down and towards you, elevate up. Create as much force into those inner thighs as you can. And relax. Okay, left knee is going to come into the body. Right leg is going to stay down on the floor. Right calf is pushing into the floor. And bring that left knee as close to your chest as you can get it. And then switch. Right knee is going to come in. Keep that left calf down. Okay, both legs are bent with your feet on the floor. Feet are hip width apart. You don't have a huge bend, but you got a pretty good bend. Let the knees fall to the right. And take your left arm and lift it up and all the way back behind you. Straight back. We're trying to get a nice stretch over that left hip. So reach that left arm back with as much force as you can. And while you're holding this, see if you can drive that left knee towards the floor a little bit. The belly is nice and flat and it's pulling down. And let's bring the arm back down, bring the knees back up slowly, and take them over to the opposite side. So knees to the left. Now the right arm goes straight back behind you. Spread your fingers wide. And then try to drive your right knee towards the floor, just to enhance that stretch a little bit over the hip. You can totally understand why these hips get so tight, because you're sitting on them too much. Which of course we all do. Okay, bring the arm back, bring the knees back, bring the knees up and into the chest. Make a nice little circle to massage the lower back, slowly. Go the opposite way. Now rock and roll. So you're up. Now we're going to come. I don't think we've ever done this from this position, but you're going to pull your heels in towards you with your hands on your shins. So your spine is really long right now, and just hold this. Oh, you're doing a down dog. How cute are you? Yeah, getting a little stretch in. Yeah. Okay, take your hands behind you, and now you're going to come onto your feet. So you're in this really low squat. You're going to bring your hands forward one at a time, hopefully without falling over. And then bring your hands to heart and just kind of hang out here just for a sec. And if you need to keep the arms forward to prevent yourself from falling backwards, reach them out in front. You can also use your arms to open up the knees, pull the legs a little further apart. It's amazing how easy we could do this when we were babies, right? You see little kids all the time in this position. Okay, hands out in front. You're going to come up onto your toes. So just lift the heels off the floor, but you're still in this low squat. Walk your hands in a little bit closer. Now you're going to lift your hips up, put your heels down, and you're in a forward fold. Looking through your legs with your legs nice and straight. Let your head fall where it wants to. You're going to inhale to a flat back. And do a nice slow reverse swan dive all the way back up. Flip the palms, reach for the ceiling. And I thank you very much for your power and strength. Thank you for being here. Woo. That was good, right?